Hey, welcome back to the channel. We're still working on this 98 Honda Prelude. As you can tell, we've got the supercharger installed. We're just about ready to go find out what belt size we need due to the fact that we don't have an air conditioner pulley anymore. So that's fantastic. I'm going to show you some clips from about 3 weeks ago, so I hope you enjoy it. If you have any comments or questions, put them down in the comment section below. Alright? Thanks, guys. Okay, so there's that modification that I made to the motor mount from ESP to accept the pulley bracket here. I gave it enough clearance so that nothing interferes. They should move together. They shouldn't. They got it mocked up. Nothing should be touching. Next thing I'll do is verify that this idler down here, when the belt comes back up to this one, that the line up here is still good to go with this. Hopefully nothing will interfere here. If I have to shave more or anything, well, that would suck. So I gotta verify that. I would hate to see my belt get shredded. One thing I will say about uninstalling these, that I took the supercharger off. A lot easier to get the bolts, take the supercharger off, to get this off. But that pulley that I was talking about, right behind it is where the bolt is for the spacer. There's a mount position right behind, like almost right behind it. So I had to take that off in order to get that bolt off. So just something to be aware of if you do buy or have and you've never uninstalled, say like this, you know, the vehicle has it on it and you've never uninstalled it before. Maybe that's a tip to help you out. Well, there it is. A little out of place, maybe not. It's kind of what they go for nowadays. I like it. I like the theme with the red. I got some VMS acorn nuts and seals on the 4 of them. It's the only thing I could get. The rest of them really don't need that show. You got the Mall, I think it is. M-A-H-L-E. I got those there. Were not necessary. Got a red one there and a red one there. Kind of show off a little bit. I think it looks pretty good with the red, actually. Kind of stands out a little bit. I think it's going to look nice. Went ahead and put the Honda Bond in all the corners where the cams rise, on the corners there. Here's what I used. And this valve cover gasket fit perfect. I mean, it was just snug as a bug, and I really liked that. Here's that number, VS17952, and then VS50747R, and then you've got 0270670, another part number there, 95428. Whatever one I ordered here, this, I don't remember the price. I want to say it was like 11 bucks or maybe 20, I don't remember. It's been a while now, but it did come with the new spark plug ring, O-rings, and then it came with these for the top, and like I said, I only used 4 of them, so that was awesome. Now I'm kind of debating on whether or not I'd use this old school DC Sports, maybe clean it up. Wouldn't mind seeing a VMS product on here, but we're gonna put that on there for now, and we'll leave that tightened down. Kind of looks cool. I like the little add a blue, kind of don't realize it, but it's purple kind of thing going there. I don't know if it'll go well with the. Yeah, it don't go too bad. I like it. Well, it's getting really late, or I should say early. I'm going to try to put the supercharger stuff back on, and maybe the alternator and the power steering. See how far I can get before the sun comes up. I got work for graveyards. Like I said before in an earlier video, this is about the only time I get to play with this car. So far so good. At least we're making progress. Any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I'm always open for them. We'll see what else we can get done tonight. Okay, so when I installed the bracket, the main bracket here, I decided that it's easy. It was always easiest when you install something to do it kind of loosely. So I started with the bolts up here. I got all 4 started. Worked down here to the lower bracket of the alternator. That spacer has a little bracket that sticks out, keeps this bottom end nice and safe and firm. So I installed that a little bit. And then I had installed the power steering adapter bracket that came with it. And then I got these loosely installed. And once I felt everything was nice and secure and there were no other bolts that need to be attached, went ahead and started tightening them down. All these are 12 mil. I do not know the torque specifications. My guess is it's probably like 28. I don't really know. I'm getting them nice and tight and snug. They weren't terrible to take off, but they weren't super easy as well. So just kind of a heads up. I'm gonna go ahead and just double check each one. There's 4 here for this adapter bracket. Keeps this nice and stable, attached to the power steering. These are 12 mils. The shortest one, it's a little bit shorter than the rest of the remaining. These 4 here and those 4 here are all the same. And those are the ones I'm talking about. I got all those tightened up real good, so the shortest one is down below. I'm gonna give them one more little snug. Still got a good gap there. And then I'll install the last 2 idlers down below. And I'm gonna get the alternator, the power steering, all buttoned back up on this end, so there's nothing over here to do. And then all that's left will be installing the supercharger, some battery cables, battery tray, suspension, you know, just the normal stuff to put it back down on the ground. So at least normal things are starting to come to. At least there's no big surprises here, hopefully. So cross your fingers, we'll see what else we can get done. I have relocated, well, sort of relocated the idle air control. As you can see down there, those 2 red hoses. Made some temporary, semi-permanent mounts just to see if I like the location, for the possibility of putting the catch can right up on the firewall. So I bought this hose online and looking at trying to put this like that, sticking out. So we'll put this on the firewall and then have that out like this. Probably have to do some trimming. Everything so far is mounting up pretty good. Just need to do a couple measurements and make sure I'm not going to be bumping into the intake pipe. So mounted the throttle body S-tube, got those tightened down, got the throttle body hooked up. Still need to make a bracket for that for extra support since the one I had broke. Not a big deal. Everything's hooked up. Looks like we're getting close. A little cleaning to do here and there on some spots. No big deal. So new valve cover in place. Everything's going together pretty well. Haven't had a bunch of time to get a bunch of work done, but we got a couple hours to go. So everything's kind of temporarily in place. Getting ready to put the rest of the supercharger pulley stuff on, which should be pretty exciting. So I wanted to go over the positive crank ventilation. I bought new, so I went with rockauto.com. They had a sale on the positive crank valve here. We got the part number for you, and that is 0450262. There's your brand. I think that thing only costs like $1.80. And then here's the gasket. Figured since I was getting the nice shiny contrast of a valve cover to kind of go with the car a little bit. It's not perfect, but it does go a little bit. So we got a new gasket there. Going to install that. Kind of had a hold since I work at night on the car, and there's really no, well, there's no stores open. You know, I was gonna go and grab some stuff, but it's like, oh, I don't know, 1 o'clock. Can't really do anything. Can't go to a store and get what I need when I need it. So we're just gonna have to go with what we got. I'm gonna put the the positive crank ventilation system semi together, get all these parts in. For the gasket, here's that part number 039 tax 6541. Same, I got it from Rock Auto. Pretty cheap. I think altogether those things shipped were like maybe $5, and that beat out Amazon, so that's pretty cool. Good thing to have replaced these valves. If they don't do that sound, they're no good. Holds that pressure down, and then as soon as you get blow by, it opens up, etc. So good thing to replace once in a while. Keep those pressures happy. So we're gonna get that installed, then we're gonna move on. As soon as that's done, let's get some clips down underneath. We got axles to put in, we've got suspension to get back in there with the lowering springs that we got. Skunk 2-inch. We'll see how it stands. Hopefully it has a good stance to it, nothing too dramatic where it's so tucked you can't even see the tire like those airbag guys, which I wish I had, but that's more of a show, not a performance. But I have seen some people run airbags and do quite well with that performance. I'll get that battery tray in here, get this all cleaned up. I can't really think of too many more things we can do tonight. It'd be nice to see this thing back on the ground and maybe put some fluids in the tranny, fluids in the engine, and go from there. So that's where we're at right now.
You know